We'll be right back with more of the Left and Right Show here on WNJC 1360 AM.
Isolation complete.
All right, Left and Right Show listeners, we're back for more of the show. We are at the 11 o'clock hour, and right now we have special guest Dan Carroll on the line. How are you doing tonight, Dan?
I'm doing great, guys. I'm doing very good. Thanks for having me on the show up there in Philly.
Dan, it's a pleasure to have you on. We've been huge DRAGONCON fans for years now. This is my 7th year attending. This is going to be Buddy's 2nd. We're thrilled to be coming down to Georgia. Our listeners in Philly may not know as much about DRAGONCON as we do. Give us a little summary of what goes on in Atlanta every Labor Day weekend.
Excellent. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to talk about this. I'm actually a Jersey boy myself, so I'm always happy to be talking to folks back home. DRAGONCON is the internationally known multi-genre fandom event. We take up 5 hotels in downtown Atlanta. We have 9 acres of vending areas at America's Mart. We are a celebration of comics, film, television, music, art. You never know who's going to show up at DRAGONCON. One year we have Alice Cooper. Another year we have, we had Jefferson Starship a few years ago.
Yeah.
But we also have, this year we have 400 celebrity guests and experts in the fields of science and engineering and literature. So we're pretty excited about everything that happens. This year we're expecting 62,000 people to come to DRAGONCON.
Wow. Those are amazing numbers. Like I said, I've been to a lot of conventions. We have quite a few conventions that come our way over in Philly, and I'm not knocking anybody's conventions, but when I go to DRAGONCon, it's a different experience. I can't believe how it's just spread out. It seems to take over the city. So definitely, I can't wait for the parade. Something that we've been talking about on the show, Buddy likes to go. We have a local troupe that we go see, Rocky Horror with. I've been telling him about Lips Down on Dixie. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah. Lips Down on Dixie has been coming to DRAGONCon for years. As long as I've been coming to DRAGONCon, they're a local Atlanta-based Rocky Horror Picture Show. They operate 51 weeks a year at the Plaza Theater here, a historic theater picked as one of the 5 best theaters in the country recently. But this time they come to DRAGONCon and they bring this southern flair. It's a little bit of camp, a little bit of acting, and a whole lot of Rocky Horror being celebrated every year at DRAGONCon. But we also have, for people who like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you may know they had a musical episode. Were you aware of that?
I am very aware of that. Actually, I was a big Whedonverse fan. That's actually what drew me to DRAGONCon. You always get such great people from the Whedon universe. And you do, I don't know if you still do it. I know I've done it in the past, the Buffy Horror Picture Show.
We do the Buffy Horror Picture Show. We also celebrate Joss's other experiment, the Dr. Hammer.
Oh, Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along blog.
Dr. Horrible, that's correct. Yeah, Dr. Horrible, Sing-Along. And this year the Buffy guests are amazing still. Buffy's been off the air for a handful of years now. And we're having Emma Caulfield this year. We're having Julie Benz, also from Dexter.
Yes.
And currently she's in Defiance. And we have Amy Acker, who has been in a lot of stuff. Most recently, Joss Whedon's Shakespeare, Much Ado About Nothing. So we're there celebrating the Buffy and Angel years with so many great guests.
I'll tell you, I've actually traveled to 2 different conventions to see Amy. And both times she's had a few things come up, so super excited to see Amy Acker. I know that there was a little delay with the release of Cabin in the Woods, but when it did finally come out, it became an instant classic, and we absolutely love Amy. So really excited. Any Joss Whedon fans, and they do talk a lot about Joss on the show, definitely have to check out the Caritas event. They do in memory of Andy Hallett. They do karaoke. I don't know if they still do it. One of my favorite things that I got to do with DRAGONCON in the past. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Dan, is this your 8th or your 9th DRAGONCon?
This is my 9th DRAGONCon. This is my 6th in a leadership position. I got a hold of this job primarily because they asked me what I did the rest of the year, and I said I told people how awesome DRAGONCon was. It's true, and they let me now they let me do it on the radio. So it's a lot of fun. DRAGCon has grown. As you know, if you've been coming a few years, when I started coming to DRAGCon, there was 3 hotels, the Hyatt Regency, the Marriott Marquis, and the Hilton. And since then, we've expanded to the Sheraton and into the Westin. And now we're into America's March. So we've got the 5 host hotels filled with folks. This is going to blow your mind. And I'm actually not a numbers guy, so it's really funny, but $52 million last year was estimated the impact of DRAGONCon one weekend.
It's crazy. It really does take the city over. You can't turn on the television without hearing something about it. You can't turn down a peach tree without seeing something. So we are so thrilled to get to be a part of it this year. Like I said, we travel 13 hours there and 13 hours back every year. Super excited to be joining you this year. I know you do have Patrick Stewart on board, correct?
We do. We're pretty excited. We have Patrick Stewart. We have James Gunn, the director of a little movie called Guardians of the Galaxy. And he's bringing his brother, Sean Gunn, who did the body for Rocket. He didn't do... Bradley Cooper did the voice, but Sean Gunn did the body motion capture for Rocket Raccoon. And then also he was on Gilmore Girls, very popular character Kirk on Gilmore Girls.
All right. Yeah, we're super excited. Everybody's talking about Guardians of the Galaxy right now. So just the fact that Mr. Gunn's going to be there, can't wait to get to meet him. Just out of curiosity, I've always come to the show, and like I said, I started as a Whedonverse fan, and now have ventured into some other areas. I know that in the past, I've been a part of the DRAGONCon sets the Guinness Book World Records. Is that something that they're continuing with, or do they have a goal in mind this year, or no?
Actually, this year we're not looking at a specific Guinness Book of World Record breaking event this year, but stay tuned. We've got one in the future coming up. Awesome.
I want to say the last one I was a part of, I know they did they had a gathering of superheroes and a thriller dance off. So that was definitely.
You didn't do the Star Trek, largest number of Star Trek uniforms in one place.
I'll tell you, I did plan on doing it that year, and I don't know what ended up coming up. I was in Atlanta, and I did go to the convention, but I didn't participate in that one.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, because I'm there in an official capacity, I wear a suit and tie most of the time, so I never get to wear costumes. But every so often, I'll throw on something steampunk in the evening.
So, Dan, with your ninth DRAGONCon coming up, could you share either your favorite memory or one of your favorite memories of the 9 years you've done DRAGONCon with our listeners here in Philly?
Well, this may be my favorite DRAGONCon story, and the folks in your listening audience haven't heard it before, so it's okay to repeat it. But my first year going to DRAGONCon, my second day, full day, I was alone working the information desk, and a gentleman walks up and asks with an English accent if I can help him. And I look up, and it's actor and stuntman David Prowse, who is the body of Darth Vader. And I stand up, and I get to attention, a former military. Yes, sir, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you being here. And he goes, yes, I'm David. And thank you, sir, he says to me. And then he says, but I'm trying to find my friend. I'm trying to find Peter Mayhew. So Darth Vader asked me my first DragonCon to help him find Chewbacca. And I sat there and said, I am Lando Calrissian. And I have found my home.
Oh, man.
And that's DragonCon. And the other thing I want to say about DragonCon is a completely kind of changing subject from everything we talked about before is for those people who come, and if you're in the Philadelphia area, the South Jersey area, come on down next year. Find out more at www.dragoncon.org. We're always on Labor Day in Atlanta, but it's family. It's about family. The next year I was working with somebody on the desk, and he started telling me how excited he was that his friend was coming from Seattle, that it was somebody from Jersey. So this friend from New Jersey who lives in Seattle was coming to DragCon, and this is the only time we see each other every year. This guy comes from Central Jersey. She comes from Seattle. They come to Atlanta and meet at DragCon. And I'm like, well, that's nice. He goes, well, I'll introduce you. And he introduces me, and we start talking. And she goes, wait a second. Carroll, are you related to Timmy Carroll? And I go, yes. And she goes, oh, my gosh. I went to church school with Timmy, and our youth pastor was your sister-in-law, Joy. And that's the type of family stories that you get out of DragCon, these coincidences and this fun experiences of building an extended family across the country. And it's an Atlanta event. 80% of the people who come to DragCon come from the Southeast, but the other 30% come from New York, Philly, Chicago, L.A., London. We have a lot of folks coming in from England for it. So it's a lot of fun. It's an you've been there before. You know it's an international event, isn't it?
It definitely is. And I got to say, I definitely agree with you on the people you meet at DragonCon. I was saying to Buddy, because I've been a few more times than him, you really do. You get that kind of, you just know everybody there feeling. You're not afraid to walk up to someone and start talking about what they're wearing and how they came up with that costume, just because everybody's there with common interest. It's something, it's not like nothing I've seen before over here on the East Coast.
No, and I got to say, coming from the Northeast, living here, it's a uniquely Southern event because we have 62,000 people in 5 hotels in a 8-block, 6-block radius, and everything works smoothly because that Southern hospitality and Atlanta's from a business point of view, it's a convention city, so we extend that to our welcome and our hospitality, and it's just wonderful to see everybody arrive. They arrive by train, they arrive by plane. You might have heard Atlanta has an airport, and this is one chance you get to go to the airport and get out. Normally, you just go to the airport and grab another plane. I know, but
definitely one of the powerhouse events, and something that I think we do very well here in Philly that I have to say I was impressed with when I went to DragonCon every year would be the parade. I think we parade real well here, but when I saw the DragonCon parade, can you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Well, first off, I want to congratulate you guys. Growing up, I knew it was New Year's Day because there were 2 parades. There was a good one, and then there was one in California. But you guys know how to throw a parade. Our parade is the largest in Atlanta. We have 3,200 marchers dressed as Tony Stark, as Iron Man, as Avengers. We have people dressed as the Justice League, steampunks. We have monsters. We have one amazing haunted house here, Netherworld. They put together a truck and they send monsters down. We're expecting this year 80,000 people to be watching from the sides of Peachtree Street here in Atlanta, and 5, 6 deep, straight down, up and down. It's only a 1-mile parade, but there's so much going on, and it's unbelievable to even be part of or to see.
Now, Dan, as far as the parade goes, another spectator had told me one year when I was so taken by it that it actually started. You started the DragonCon parade. There was I can't remember what event he said. There was a different parade in town during DragonCon. Am I getting the story?
Yeah. Go ahead.
And the DragonCon, all the people who were there in their costumes and everything said, "Why shouldn't we get a parade?" and created their own parade? Is that somewhat how it went?
It is really close. There was a business meeting with the DRAGONCON board of directors and the hotel to make sure everything was ready for DRAGONCON. So they come in, they do the business meeting, and they leave. They're on their way to lunch, and there's the not the Knights of Columbus, the Salvation Army having a parade down Peachtree Street. And somebody said, well, look at all those great costumes. Everybody's dressed as Salvation Army. And somebody else said, we could do that. That was something that would be really, really fun because everybody would be in costume. And sure enough, we had 501st. The parade has been going on now 13 years. It started in 2001. So this is, I guess, the 14th year, but it's 13 years it's been going on. So it's the 14th parade. And it's just amazing to watch. And when I say the number 3,200 people in costumes marching in a parade, the parade has become so explosive that when I started in my position, half the people signed up for the parade on site. They would go the day before the parade and sign up. This year, we had to close registration off because we had completely full boatload in June.
Wow.
So 3 months before DRAGCON, we stopped entry. And the biggest question I have gotten this summer from people who are not reporters is, hey, Dan, you know people, can you get me in the parade? And the answer is, I know lots of people. I still can't get you in the parade.
Now, we're huge fans of Atlanta. Like I said, we're Jersey and Philly boys, but DRAGONCON and Waffle House would probably be the two things that we'll go to Atlanta for any day of the week. With that said, what is something, being a Jersey boy yourself, living in Atlanta now, that you miss about New Jersey or Philly?
Well, I got to say, without a doubt, it's the food. You can get Philly's cheesesteaks here, and you can get bagels here, and you can get pizza here, but they're still not the same. And there's a theory that with the bagels, it has to do with the water or the air pressure. And we discuss this all the time because Jersey guys, I have a lot of friends who are still the Jersey people. Mm-hmm. And probably the highlight of that, I don't know if you have them in the Philly area, but Central Jersey, the White Castles.
Okay.
Yeah, White Castle.
White Castles are very important in New Jersey. And the nearest one we have is in Nashville. And any opportunity, we have a few friends that work together. Any one of us goes to Nashville, we'll bring back the White Castles for everybody. We do miss... No, it's true. If you've had a chance to watch the documentary 4 Days at DRAGONCON, one of the things that's featured in there is the building of the steampunk Boba Fett costume.
Okay.
And this is really cool. So steampunk Boba Fett, John Strangeway, is from New Jersey. He moved to Atlanta because of DRAGONCON, and he commissioned this amazing steampunk Boba Fett costume that has been featured for 5 years now. It's been featured in all these great costumes of DRAGONCON, great costumes of every convention he shows up at. And the gentleman who designed it is a guy named Matt Silva. He was 21 at the time. He built the suit. He just recently competed on the show Face Off.
Okay.
And I just bumped into him. He came back from making 2 movies that are going to be released pretty soon. So he started with DRAGONCON. His folks are from Middlesex, New Jersey, even though he was born here. So there's a strong Northeast connection running through, but I think all of us miss the food the most. And probably the one thing Atlanta lacks, and I love this city. I love this city so much. I had an opportunity to move somewhere else, and I changed jobs to come back. And I'll tell you, it's an ocean. So if we were close to an ocean, it'd be almost perfect. But I miss. I grew up in the Central Jersey area, so I miss going to Asbury Park. I miss Neptune. I miss all that area.
Yeah, I mean we're too close to it to miss it, but we definitely enjoy it, and we're huge Atlanta fans. So can't wait to get down there and hang out in your neck of the woods.
Also, love the zoo. zoo. You guys in Philly have an amazing zoo. I used to go take the kids there all the time. So there's things I miss, but I know you guys have other things to do this evening. But I just want to say, for more information, www.dragoncon.org. It's been amazing that you've given me the time tonight, and I really, really appreciate it, and can't wait to see you next week.
Dan, we really look forward to meeting you next week, too. Check out the Google Play Store. There's a DRAGONCON app if you want more specifics on the fan tracks, different things that are going on. Also, again, it's dragoncon.org. You can find DRAGONCON on Facebook. Anything else that you want to let our listeners know? The hook for dropping what they're doing next weekend to come down to DRAGONCON?
Well, the most important thing is there are a couple of hotel rooms left in Atlanta. You may not get close to DRAGONCON, but you will get to the hotel rooms in the city of Atlanta. And if you've heard of other comic book conventions, the actress Jewel State, and we are a very Whedonverse night tonight, aren't we, guys? But the actress Jewel State described DRAGONCON to a group of CNN executives this way: it's like a regular comic book convention mixed with the Vegas Strip. Yeah. One of the things we didn't talk about is it's a family-friendly event all day, but DRAGONCON goes 24 hours a day for 5 days. It's a lot of fun. Think about coming down.
Yep. So if you're listening in the Philadelphia area tonight and you have nothing to do next weekend, or you have something to do that you can drop, pack a bag, get in the car, hop on 95, take it to 85 South. It'll take you straight into Atlanta, and you can go check out DRAGONCON for yourself. If you can't make it down next weekend, it's always going to be there, Labor Day weekend, and go to dragoncon.org for more information. Dan, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You guys, I appreciate it.
Take care. We'll see you next week.
Okay, thanks. Have a great weekend, everybody, and thank you, Philadelphia, for that whole freedom thing that you guys gave us.
Thank you so much, Dan. Have a good night.
Bye-bye, guys.
That was crazy. I tried not to fangirl out too much. I'm so excited to talk to someone who's worked so closely with the convention I've been going to for the past 7 years. It's a huge event, and we're going to get to be a part of it this year.
All right, but we have about 35 minutes left in the show. We're going to head to a musical break right now. So stay tuned for more of the Left and Right Show on WNJC 1360 AM with your host tonight,
Zacharias
and Buddy Smith. Keep on listening.